Well, hi everyone, it's Scott and Megan. We're doing a little something different this week. We're going to do a video about how we've gotten started with YouTube and our business and just some basic information about us. A lot of people have been asking us questions. Who are you? Where did you come from?
Yep, why we do what we do, and we wanted to bring it to YouTube because we've touched on it a little bit with our Facebook Lives, which if you aren't watching those on Monday nights, you need to go to our Facebook page, Plum Crazy Adventures, and follow that so that you see when we go live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Monday night.
Yep. And you know, it's something that we enjoy doing, and it's just a lot of fun, and you guys get to really see us kind of cut up on each other. Of course, if you guys are followers and subscribers to us on the YouTube channel, you already know that we are kind of jokesters and we like to have some fun. So
yes, we do.
But anyway, without any further delay, let's get into it. And by the way, if you do hear Nick, he's just in the other room.
Yeah,
he's playing. So, and we have no teenagers here, so no babysitters to help us out. So we're just going to wing this. Get it done. If you hear him, you hear him. If you hear the dogs, we're sorry. But
yeah,
you got that's the price of doing things with no babysitters.
And so that brings us to the very first thing that we wanted to talk about, which is who are we as Plum Crazy Adventures? We run a family travel agency. We focus on family-focused travel. We do a little bit with adults as well, but most of what we do is family and adventure travel. We do that because we are a family of 4 boys. 4. Yes,
Yeah.
you can feel sorry for me. Our oldest, he...
5 if you count me. I mean, come on.
Well, I'm trying to be nice, okay? I mean, you guys don't know us that well yet. But yes, he's my 5th. My biggest one. So we do have our oldest who is not living in the house with us. He is in Goldsboro, North Carolina, serving in the U.S. military, Air Force. Very, very proud of him.
Yep.
We also have JT that just graduated high school, and we're very proud of him. He's planning on going to college this fall, pursuing digital design, media designs. He's already very good at it, but he wants to get a certificate and degrees in it so that he can do even more with it. Very proud of him. Noah, he is our upcoming senior this year in high school, and he's already been taking flight lessons and is learning to be a pilot, just like you.
Yep.
So, and then obviously our youngest, which you probably see in our videos more so than the older boys, he is 4 years old and goes everywhere with us, and very
Right
excited
on cue.
today.
Right on cue.
Another question that we get asked all the time is, how did we come up with the name Plum Crazy Adventures? Scott, do you want to tell them?
Well, we decided to open up the business without a name first, and we contemplated for a few nights, and we could figure out what we were going to do. And then we just got done purchasing our brand new 2016 Dodge Challenger.
Yes.
And it's Plum Crazy Purple.
Yes, it is.
So at probably 3 a.m. in the middle of one night, I woke up and I got to thinking about it, and it just became apparent, Plum Crazy Adventures.
Yes, it did.
So I woke her up in a frantic, going, Megan, 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 Megan.
I don't remember that. I sleep like a log.
Yeah. She kind of looked at me like, huh? I said, Plum Crazy Adventures. And I said, do me a favor, go get a pen and write it down so we don't forget it. Well, we wrote it down and we remembered it, and the next day we launched Plum Crazy Adventures. So that's how the name started.
Yep.
It's amazing what will come to you in the middle of the night at about 3 a.m. So.
And it's really interesting too. We are located just outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and there's a borough called Plum, it's Plum, Pennsylvania. And so everybody always thinks that we are named Plum Crazy Adventures because we live in Plum.
Yeah, we don't.
We do not live in Plum.
Yeah.
We don't live very close to Plum at all.
Nope.
But there's a fun trivia fact for you.
Yep.
Most Pittsburghers think that we are out there, and we're not.
Yep.
Something else that we get asked all the time is, how did we get into travel? And it's a really interesting question. I'll start out with myself. When I was growing up, we're both from Southeast Ohio. We never really did many family vacations, my family and I, because I was very big into 4-H. I used to show horses, did the whole works, English, Western pleasures. I did a little bit of contest and everything. We had gaited horses, so the 4-H groups actually at the one county fair actually brought in gated classes so that my niece and I could show those gated classes. Very cool. But that was pretty much where all of our vacation dollars went, because we would spend about a week and a half of the year camping out at county fairgrounds. And so I didn't know what a vacation was, really, until I was about 16, and I was fortunate enough to be a part of a high school that had a very competent a cappella choir, and I got to go on my very first cruise, which was the Majesty of the Seas, Royal Caribbean, and that was a 3-night cruise over Easter weekend, and we won the competition actually that year, and I was hooked on travel after that. So, but it took me a few more years before I actually started doing a lot of traveling when I met him.
My turn? Are you done?
It's your turn.
Oh,
you tell them how you got into travel.
Well, let's see. I think it all began back when I was still swimming in my mother. No, kidding.
That was an interesting image.
Anyway, my experiences with traveling all started with my parents. I can finally remember many times Dad getting off work. He'd come in from driving truck all day, and I'd hear the words, "Pack a bag, we're leaving within an hour." And we would wake up the next day, we'd be in Myrtle Beach, or we would be somewhere on a beach somewhere. We also had a little tow-behind camper that we'd always go camping in and stuff. I remember a lot of trips and stuff where we were in Florida, shocking. Well, we had family down there, so we went and visited family quite a bit. And of course, you know, there was this little character, a mouse, that we always had to go into the middle part of the state. I don't know why, but yes, we always went to Disney World and stuff and hung out. We did some camping there, there's a really memorable experiences for me. A buddy of mine went with me a couple times, and he still to this day thanks me and my parents for taking him on that trip, because he's never been able to experience anything quite like that, even to today. So, but I'm still working on him. Hopefully we'll get him down there and do some trips and stuff. The most memorable trip I think that I had with my family and my parents was probably when we went to Cancun, Mexico. Being able to visit the Mayan pyramids, being able to go kayaking in the canals and stuff, and almost ran over by a cruise ship. Yeah, that was a little frightening. So, but you know, just being able to be with my mom and dad and hang out with them. Dad and I remember we'd swim out every single day and go out into the sandbars and stuff, and out in the ocean and stuff, and trying to find different seashells and different things like that. You know, unfortunately, we were flying back, so we couldn't bring anything back with us. But you know, that was a great memory. I remember being down there with them, and you know, my parents, they're the reason why we do what we do today. You know, they sparked my travel interest. Coming up through high school, I was in the high school marching band. Every Friday night, we were at the football games. Every Saturday and Sunday, we were at competitions for at least 4 months. Out of the year, and and we're talking all over Ohio, West Virginia, and into Indiana, sometimes up into Michigan. So the travel lust bug was always implanted into my head. It just seemed to got a lot better when I got with her. So
or worse, depending on who you're talking to.
No, I got a lot better because we started doing a lot of trips. I always wanted to go to the Daytona 500. And thanks to Megan, she made that happen. So
yeah, I did.
Yeah. Well, and also
we'll
Disney.
Talk about that trip in a
else.
little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the other questions we get asked quite a bit, is what is one of our most memorable trips that we've ever done? And
I think we'd better answer this one separately.
Yeah, we better do this one separately. But to be honest with you, I can name a couple trips that are very memorable for us. in our family. One of them was our very first trip to Chickatee, Virginia. I remember basically just looking at Megan and saying, "Hey, we got next week off. We ain't got nowhere to go. The kids are not in school or anything. We have them for the whole week. Let's go do something." And she just completely
most terrifying experience of my life, let me tell you.
Yeah, she completely pulled this trip completely out of nowhere. She found a rental house in Chickatee, Virginia. She did some research that there was a beach there, but we would have to, go onto a state park facility and purchase like a week pass. So we packed up more than everything that we ever would need for a trip and took off. And we got there, and it was a very terrifying experience. We didn't think we were going to have enough food. We didn't think we were going to be able to do it. And we got down there and we had too much stuff.
Yep.
But it ended up being a great trip, and it was a very memorable trip for all of us together as a family. Now, my most favorite one by far was when we completely surprised the boys to take them to Disney World.
Yes.
That one was
the oldest three.
Yeah,
Nick
the oldest
hadn't
three.
been thought of yet.
Yeah, Nick was not even a remote thought. But we completely surprised them. Now, we knew about it for how many months?
I'd say about 6 months,
Yes.
because obviously I think we used it with our income tax return. We paid for it in full, and we didn't go until the middle of August.
Yeah. So
Not that I recommend Disney World in the middle of August.
No. But so for 6 months, I had to keep my big mouth shut. Now,
and if
for
you've known
those
this
of you
man
know
in
me,
any capacity,
you know that is freaking impossible for me to do. So, even Nick agrees. Yeah. But we got to the airport. We pulled a prank on the boys and basically said that we were taking a couple friends of ours to the airport, dropping them off in our van, and they had to borrow our suitcases and stuff so the way they could go on the trip. And we pulled up, opened up the van. Everybody kind of got out, and our friends that came with us, we turned around and we looked at the boys and handed them each, what was a $100 gift card? Yeah, $100 Disney gift card. And they kind of looked at the cards and they were like, "Well, what's this for?" And Megan goes, "We're leaving for Disney World right now." And
yep.
Oh,
Never
that
been on a
response.
plane, never anything.
And the one thing that gets me the most is when they finally realized that this was true, and we get all the way through TSA and get into the airport, and Christopher looks at me and goes, "We're really doing this, aren't we?"
Oh my goodness, yes.
I was like, "Yes, son. They don't let you go through the airport this far if it's a joke."
Yeah.
So, and then from that point forward, every time we drove out toward the airport, we always got the question, are we really just going out to the airport to see an air show, or are we going somewhere?
Yes, we did. It was really funny. And if I can find that footage and get it to work, I will go ahead and put that in right now.
Yeah.
Where are we going?
Disney?
We're going to Disney?
Disney World, right now.
Right now.
Exciting?
Now, he told one of our most memorable trips. I'm going to be completely honest. It was a fantastic trip.
Yes.
Probably one of my most memorable trips that we have ever done, however, is ironically the Daytona 500 trip. It had the best and the worst of anything that I could ever personally want in a trip. And it's really funny.
I'm actually shocked that you picked that one.
So, the part of the reason why I picked that one is because obviously we went down in February. It was the worst possible time for us to decide that we were driving to Orlando, Florida from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We had to drive overnight in sleet and hail and misery. And that is all him because I couldn't stay awake.
Yep. That was fun.
Yeah. We get down
But
there.
I knew what the end goal was.
We ended up getting down there a day early because we had to leave or else we would have been gridlocked in because we would not have been able to have gotten through the mountains.
Yep.
Got there, got a hotel room for the extra night, During that trip, we went to the Daytona 500, which I will never do again. I am happy to send clients along and make sure that they do not make the mistakes that I did, such as not staying in Daytona the night before and getting over to the raceway early enough.
Yeah.
We thought that giving ourselves a 3-hour buffer would be plenty of time. No, we sat in the same spot for 3 hours on I-4.
Yep.
So, do not recommend driving from Orlando into Daytona for the Daytona 500. Anyway, so that was probably the worst part of that trip for me personally. I am not a racer. I do not enjoy that kind of stuff at all. So after that, what we did during that time, because we did go down for a couple of extra days, is we went to Universal Studios and we just did Islands of Adventure for one day. This was before the Hogwarts Express was really a thing. They had Hogsmeade, but they didn't have any of the stuff connecting the two parks yet.
Yep.
And
They had the dueling dragons still.
they did have the dueling dragons. So that was probably one of my favorite trips at Islands of Adventure. There is a photo that I have of John and Noah grinning from ear to ear. We were on the Stormforce Accelatron, I believe is what it's called. It's their version of the teacup ride. It's in Marble Island. And I also have a photo of all three boys playing in the Jurassic Park Camp Jurassic area. All of them were, they disappeared and they ended up on a level above us, and they were all cracking up and laughing and leaning their heads over, and it is by far one of my favorite photos of the three of them. All three were actually smiling. They weren't fighting. One of them may have been in a chokehold, but that's typical. Just absolutely one of my favorite photos. And because of that, and also getting to spend time at what was then Downtown Disney, having dinner at the T-Rex Cafe with all of them. And it was really the last trip that we had where they were all young enough to really appreciate all of the magic between the two areas and got along so well. So that's probably one of my most memorable
That hardly
trips.
ever happens anymore.
I know.
So.
Another question that nobody has asked us yet, but I thought would be a really interesting thing to put in here is, what is a little known fact about each of us, or us as a couple, that you guys may not know but might find interesting and want to know?
All right, well, I'll go. I met her in a pet store.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really shocked that this beautiful woman actually noticed me, and I'm just damn glad that she did. So that's one little unknown fact that you guys probably don't know.
Yeah.
Megan kind of gave it away for me. I do want to be a pilot, so I am studying to become a pilot.
Yep.
And I really like Ancient Aliens, the television show.
Ancient astronaut theorists believe.
Yeah, so if you hear her saying that often on, that's what she's referring to.
I'm picking on him.
So, yeah.
Not the community, because it's actually very interesting stuff, but I'm picking on him because he does it to us all the time.
Yeah, I do. So.
So a couple of things that I would mention. Let me think here. There is a 13-year age gap between Scott and me. I know. My grandmother actually, my grandparents had a 20-year age gap between the two of them, so I feel like 13 is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather was born in 1902 and my grandmother was born in 1922, so you can imagine both of them having been one divorced and one widowed back in the 1940s, that definitely a unique couple, and like to think that we embody that a little bit ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So an interesting fact about me, I tend to be very cautious whenever I am booking people's trips and such, because I have a very unique allergy. I am allergic to cinnamon. And you would not believe how many things have cinnamon in it when you go on vacation. So if you do have an intolerance or an allergy to anything, please let me know, because I can make your trip so much easier, especially if you're going to Central Orlando, Universal, or Disney, because they put some stuff in foods down there that you'd never think it will be in.
Yep.
So Liberty Tree Tavern in particular at Walt Disney World, they put cinnamon in almost all but one of their desserts that they have, and also their cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a thing. I've never had cranberry sauce, but I thought that was weird.
Yeah,
So
not a fan of cranberry sauce, so I wasn't too upset about that. But
no, we just didn't even have it to the table.
yeah. All right, so one of the questions I get asked quite a bit, I don't know about you, Megan, but I always get a question, do you guys have a bucket list? Like a
Oh,
bucket
yes.
list of trips. Now, we have a bucket list, yes. There's a humongous bucket list. We have probably over 100 items on our bucket list. And
I
we
think
probably,
it's up to 146.
Yeah.
Now
really.
some's been crossed off, but
A lot of it's been, well, not a lot of it, but a good majority of it's been crossed off. But what we're talking about is bucket list vacations.
yes.
Now, an ultimate bucket list vacation for me would be the land down under.
Yes.
Australia.
That's on there.
I want to go to Australia, and I want to go snorkeling or scuba diving in the Great Barrier Reef
Yep.
and be able to say that I've done it. So
Yep,
that's
that's-
one of my bucket lists.
I agree. I think that that is an awesome one. Another one that I have that I want to do is I want to go out to Athens, Greece, and I want to do a Mediterranean cruise all across the Mediterranean, 11 to 14 nights cruise, and see all of the ancient history and stuff that you can find along the Mediterranean. Especially over in Athens, the Parthenon, because a few years ago we went to Nashville, Tennessee, and we got to see the American version of the Parthenon in Nashville.
Which
And
was-
so I'd like to see the original someday.
That was really cool to do.
It
And by
was
the way,
very
am I
cool.
allowed to go on that trip?
I suppose.
Okay.
Now, I know that a lot of times when you watch our YouTube videos, you see that we have the kids with us. Our first trip actually without kids in probably 8 years was just this past October when we celebrated our 10-year anniversary. If you haven't seen our Lowe's Royal Pacific Hotel video, What Are You Doing? You should watch that. As well as a couple of others from that particular trip. TWA Hotel was another one that was part of our adult-only trips. So yes, we do adult-only trips for ourselves. We also book adult-only trips. So if you don't have kids, or if you're wanting a kid-free vacation, definitely reach out to us. We've got some great ideas. We've got some things in the hopper that we're talking about doing for ourselves, and we can book those adult-only trips as well.
Yes.
All you have to do is ask.
So another question we get, why do we do YouTube videos all the time? Well,
Yes.
right now, especially with COVID going on, this has been a very important time for us to be able to connect with our families that can't travel to see us or us travel to see them. But this is a great way for our family to be able to know exactly what their grandkids are doing or what their children are doing. And
Yeah.
so it's a great way to connect with our families, but it's also a great way for us to connect with you, our clients. So that way you know exactly where we've been, what we're doing, and just how plum crazy we really are.
Yes, and that is pretty plum crazy. So, something else that I have been asked a couple of times, not as frequently, but I thought it was an interesting question, so I wanted to add it here. What is our current favorite destination that we like to go to?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, there was a lot right there. So, current favorite destination. Scott, do you want to start?
By far, Universal Studios. That is one of my best and most favorite places to go. You can ride the movies, you can have great food, you got great places to stay, great shopping. It's just all around, I enjoy it. It's more of an adult themed parks for us. Not dissing on Disney or anything. I love Disney, don't get me wrong, but Universal is
Definitely
probably,
caught our hearts.
Yeah.
So, and that's interesting because I wasn't expecting him to say Universal. So, and he surprised me right there. I figured he was going to say Chincoteague, Virginia, which is one of our favorite beach destinations that we go to.
Yeah.
I'd say about every other year we try to get out to Chincoteague. Now, one of my favorites, ironically, is not either of those. It is Disneyland or Anaheim, California. I have been itching to go back to California since we went a few years ago. Thanks, I appreciate that. So, it's Basically, it makes me feel, it's very compact, very similar to Universal, which is one thing that we really like about there. But you get all the nostalgia and you get all of the history of Walt Disney and cinema and what really got things started, as far as not just a park where kids get to go and ride a couple of rides and then the parents have to sit on the sidelines. It's where everybody really got to come together and do things together as a family. And you really feel that when you go out to Disneyland. I absolutely love all of the nostalgic rides that they have out there. Probably the Alice in Wonderland ride is my favorite. You can't ride it at Disney World. They also have Disney's California Adventure. It just opened up the Avengers Campus, and I know that I have 2 teenagers that are dying to get out there. So, well, he's not the teenager, he wants to go too, but the teenagers are just like chomping at the bit wanting to go out there because they're wanting to see Black Panther, they're wanting to see the Spider-Man shooting up over top of the buildings. There's so much going on out there. So, maybe eventually I'll get to go back to my favorite vacation destination. So the last thing that we wanted to talk to you guys about this evening is what are some of our goals, Plum Crazy Adventures goals for the rest of 2021. And this is June, we're at our halfway mark, we're getting ready to go into July, and I thought it was a really good thing that we could put in here, kind of give you guys a feeling of what to expect for our channel and as we continue to go through.
Okay. Well, why don't you just keep going?
Okay. As you can tell, I'm the planner. I do have more and more people that are starting to travel, that are traveling this fall, so that is fantastic. We do have a little surprise trip planned for July. I cannot wait to start showing you guys those videos in a few weeks. We're going to keep that kind of under wraps until we're there.
Yep.
I'm also hoping that we're going to be able to get down to Universal for the Christmas celebrations that they have. They're currently doing casting calls for the Grinch, so that tells me that they are going to be doing Grinchmas this year.
Yes.
I am super excited. We were supposed to do that last year, and because of all of the restrictions that were forced upon us here in Pennsylvania, we ended up deciding to move our dates, and we ended up going in February instead. So obviously no Christmas celebrations in February. So that's one big goal that we're hoping to do. Also toying with the idea of us trying to do Disney in October and experiencing the Boo Bash, because we had done Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party a couple of years ago, and that has been by far our favorite separately ticketed event that we have ever been to at any park.
Yeah.
We're hoping that maybe we can squeeze that out end of September, beginning of October.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yep.
Just have to see. And then also the boys keep pestering us for doing a beach vacation because it's been a couple of years since we've seen the ocean. So might have to push that one somehow, some way. What about you? Did you have anything that you were hoping that I'd be able to sneak in here?
No, you pretty much covered that, but a couple goals that I do have for PCA. Obviously, I would love to see our subscribers hit 100 on YouTube.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
That is by far our goal for the end of 2021. If it exceeds that, then great.
Yep.
That'll be a huge accomplishment. I just want to be able to get everybody out of their houses and get them on vacation so that way they can enjoy life again, because COVID has taught us, well, being in the house sucks.
Yes, it does.
Literally. And there's a lot of people out there that are just itching to get out and go on vacation, and they're starting to. So,
Yep.
you know, we're here to help you. We're here to book the vacations for you. We're here to answer questions for you. We're here to make sure your experience is magical wherever you go, whether it's Disney, Universal, or whatever you do.
Yep.
So that's our goal. That's my goal. So
Exactly. And the other thing that we're hoping to be able to do as things continue to open up, I do apologize for Nick in the background, is that we're hoping to be able to start seeing all of you again at certain events throughout
Yes.
the Pittsburgh area.
Yes.
So those will be up on our Facebook pages and our Instagram page as we are able to start going and doing some of those events. So really hope to be able to start seeing some of your smiling faces again.
yes.
Well, everybody, I hope that gave you a good idea of who we are here at Plum Crazy Adventures. We really are plum crazy.
Yes, we are. Believe me, if you guys could see what goes on when the camera is not on us, yeah, it's funny. I'm telling you, there's a lot of. I think we need to have like a gag reel.
Child is the problem.
Yes, yes. I definitely think we need to do a gag reel somewhere.
Maybe,
So.
maybe not. We'll see.
But anyway, with all that being said, if you like this video, give it a great big thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Also, if you are thinking about taking a vacation, please give us a chance to work with you. I don't charge any fees for any of our domestic travels. I get paid directly by the supplier, so it doesn't hurt you whatsoever to reach out to us. You can do so either on YouTube in the comments. You can also send me a DM on our Instagram or our Facebook. You can also give us a call at 724-617-2PCA. For those of you that would like all the numbers, that is 724-617-2722. And then, of course, there is my email address, which is megan@plumcrazyadventures.com.
Sorry that the video jumped. Our cat decided he wanted to rub on our tripod. So
I know, he sleeps 22 hours a day. He's an old boy,
Yeah.
but decided that right now is when he wants to come out
times he
for
want to come,
attention.
comes out and gets some attention. So
Isn't that cat-like?
I swear. Well, anyway, we're going to sign off and say goodbye for the evening here. Are you ready for your next Plum Crazy adventure?
Because we're ready to get you there.
We'll talk to you soon, guys. Bye.